Good morning, everyone. Or for me, it's good morning. I'm sorry. Well, welcome, everyone. I'm so glad you're all here today. So today for this presentation, I will be talking about 5 best practices and considerations for entrepreneurship. So this is part of a series that was put together, and I am the last one. So I hope, and if you haven't got a chance to review all the previous webinars, please do, because they were excellent. And since this is the last one, please, I welcome your active participation, either through chat, and if you cannot, don't worry about it. I would like to invite you guys back in 2 weeks for a interactive session. So let's get started, as I only have about an hour with you today. So a little about me before I get started. So like I said before, today's focus is on, just to sum up all the webinar series, today is just 5 things you should know. So if you're on the fence of, starting business of sorts in education, what 5 things you should keep in mind. So to start, I want to introduce to you a bit about myself, only so you know what kind of person is talking to you today, right? So my name is Teresa. Last name is Win, like a win-win situation. So I'm Teresa Win. Currently, I am the department chair and full-time faculty for English as a second language, or for English learners here at Golden West College in California, Southern California, America. I've been teaching for almost 20 years now, believe it or not. And with my background, I come as an author. So I'm an author of a few books, and we'll talk about that. I have a YouTube channel, a restaurant owner of a chain here, and most recently, a TEDx speaker. So just to give an overview of what we'll be covering today. So definitely I want to discuss, why even go into entrepreneurship, right? I can just go work for somebody. So why should I even, kill myself over all of these entrepreneurship, this headache of starting a business? So then I'll go over market research, business plan, business location, structure, and name, developing a brand strategy and identity, and last but not least, how to market your business. So these are the 5 key concepts that I'll be going over today. So starting a business, here's a picture of me and my co-author with one of my first books. It's a Compelling Conversations Vietnam textbook. Now, why? Why would you consider starting a business? Well, definitely there's this thrill, there's this excitement, right? You get to pursue your own passions, you get to be your own boss, you get to create the material that you're interested in. So, there are a lot of exciting benefits to opening a business. But at the same time, it's scary to start your own business, right? There's a lot of risk. I think that's probably, most people's main concern is, oh my gosh, I have to put in this investment, the time, the money, and will I get this return, right? So there's just a lot of question marks on before starting a business. But at the end, definitely there is a reward. Maybe the reward you might not see right away. Maybe it's not immediate. Maybe it's later on. But definitely there is a reward factor in there. Okay. So if you're still on the fence, I hope these factors will help you jump over and want to do entrepreneurship. So why entrepreneurship? Number one, education is a fundamental need. With a lot of things, they'll come and go, but I think people are always thirsty for education. technology has definitely transformed the way how we learned and opened educational opportunities. And definitely with that comes COVID. I think COVID was just like a perfect example. Like I told you before, we here at a community college, we in the beginning when we first opened the program, like when we first started the program 5 years ago, we said, we're just going to teach English in person, right? We're just going to teach English in person. But with COVID, we were forced to move online, right? Because we thought in the beginning, or we had a very closed-minded concept. We're like, teaching English can only be in person. Our students want physical interaction. And so, when I brought up with my dean and my college president, I'm like, hey, we want to go online. But they're like, no, we want them in person. But guess what? COVID forced us to move online. And now our program is hybrid. We have classes in person and we have classes online to cater to more students. So definitely, technology has transformed the way how we access education. And like I said before, I talked about the pandemic, made it a lot more flexible and a lot more accessible. And last but not least, entrepreneurship allows us to leave a positive impact on the world. So whatever contributions we may have, it's definitely a positive contribution. There's never a negative contribution to entrepreneurship. So if you're still on the fence, I hope these reasons have kind of helped you to move over to thinking about entrepreneurship. So if you could quickly go into chat, if you want to type, what entrepreneurship ideas do you have? Like when you think of entrepreneurship, right, a combination of education and entrepreneurship, what ideas are you playing with right now? Are you considering? Mm. Oh, these are all really great ideas. Like an English summer camp, definitely intense English for a short period of time. That's a phenomenal idea. Education courses for children. Yes, they say that children, right? If you're like me, I'm a mother of two. I am always willing to spend money on my children, regardless of the price. So I think I question it more when I spend money on myself, but for my children, I'm always willing to spend because I think the best for them. So I think that's a very good one. Asynchronous courses. Yes. Oh yeah, community adults, definitely right now. Yeah, great. Adult education. That is definitely my field right now. I teach adult learners. Yeah, so these are all really, really great ideas. So as I go through this presentation, I'd like you to just kind of keep your ideas in the back burner, right? So these are the ideas that you have about entrepreneurship. Kind of keep this in mind as I go through the slides and see how this can apply to the model that you're planning to use. Now, before I start, I want to ask you, for your business model, are you offering a service or a product? And the reason why I want you to think about this is because the way how you would approach them would be a little bit different. When we think of business, we think of two things, right? Business can only be kind of similar, like a service or a product, or sometimes can be a hybrid of both. But I want you to think more, are you more of a service or are you a product? So for example, are you a book, right? Are you going to have a product, a book, you're going to be an author and you're going to sell this book? Or are you a service? Will you be teaching, right? Where you will be teaching and people are paying for your service, which is the teaching aspect. So I kind of want you to think about, are you a service or a product? So first think about, okay, what business model do I have in mind, right? Like what, so how do I want to make my money? Okay, entrepreneurship. And is this a service or a product? So now we're going to move on to the five things that we should kind of keep in mind when we're doing with entrepreneurship. So number one, most importantly, conduct market research. Conduct market research. What do I mean by conduct market research? Okay, so market research, what is it? It is a process of gathering information on the field, in the field that you're interested in before you're making a decision, right? So with everything, before you do your business, you have to truly understand it, right? And how do you understand? You have to do research. You have to do research. It can help you understand your target audience, identify the market trends, evaluate your competitors, and determine, do people even want this product or service? Like, is there even a need, right? So definitely these are the things that you want to keep in mind as you're doing market research. So identify your target audience, right? Who are you selling this to? Is it to adults? Is it to children? Is it to working mommies? Is it to young professionals? Is it for older adults, right? So there is these different, so you can say, yeah, I want to teach English. That's great. You want to teach English, but to who? So that's a piece that we have to identify. Then you have to think about your competitors. Is there someone out there doing the exact same thing as you, right? And if so, how good are they? Can you beat them? And definitely, do they need you? Because if there's no need for you, then it's going to be really hard to get customers or to get clients. So there are two types of market research. The first one is a primary research. This informs, this involves collecting data directly from customers or focus groups or interviews. So definitely, so if you've already locked in, okay, I want to make this product for children, who are you going to reach out to? You're going to reach out to all your mommy friends, right? Hey, if I have this product, will you buy it? Or if I do this, will you sign up your children, right? So these are kind of the things that I do. So for example, right now, in about 2 weeks or so, I'll be releasing my first children's book. It's going to be a bilingual children's book. Now, I didn't write this overnight. It's been about a year for this process. Now, prior to this, I asked a bunch of my mommy friends, right? I asked, hey, look, you guys, I'm going to come out with this book. Would you buy this book for your children? Would you read this book to your children? Do you think it's beneficial to your children, right? So originally I had this book as just English, but through, talking to my friends, it's now a bilingual book. So it's going to be Vietnamese and in English, because I felt that was where the need was. The second one is secondary research. So we have your primary research. So talking directly to people who are interested in this product. And secondary will be you Googling. Google, right? So the secondary research is you and Uncle Google, right? So when you're in the Google, you're going to think about, okay, let's look at data, right? How many bilingual books are there? How many bilingual children's books are there? How many bilingual children's books are there from people in America, right? And so you keep on researching this and narrowing it down just to see what kind of edge or benefit you have over the rest of the people who are similar to you in the market. So now we move on to point two. Point two is you got to have a business plan, right? I think we hear this all the time, like business plan. And it's true. Prior to doing anything, you need to have a plan, right? So when I had my wedding, I just didn't say, hey, when I have my wedding, no way, right? I had to plan it with details, right? Before I walk into class, I have to think about, okay, what am I going to teach today? I don't just come and be like, hey, today we're going to learn this. No way. So just like anything, and because this is such a big step for you, you're going to have a plan for your business. So most importantly, out of a business plan, if there's one takeaway about your business plan, I think it's definitely to think about your goals. What is your goal? So you have this business plan, and why? Why are you having this? Because I promise you, during your journey of your business, you're going to get lost. You're going to get lost. And it's always good to come back and see, okay, what was my original purpose for my business plan? Come up with some strategies. What are the strategies that I can utilize, that I will use to achieve these goals? And last but not least, money. How am I going to fund this business? Right? Like, where am I going to get the money from? Is it from me, my savings? Am I going to raise funds from family and friends? Or am I going to put it on like a GoFundMe or Kickstarter, something like that? So again, it's a roadmap. A business plan is a roadmap. And I think the three key things will be your goals, your strategies, and money. So usually, this is what's included in a business plan. You can have all, or you can have just a few of these key points. But I think the main takeaway is business plan, yes. Goals, strategies, money. So at the beginning of a business plan, if you were to put a business plan together, there's always an executive summary. And the executive summary is just a summary of, hey, what's your business, right? Like, what is it? Are you an author? Are you going to put out a book? Are you going to teach the kids online? Are you going to have a summer camp? Basically, it's a summary of what your business is. Company description, right? In detail, what are you going to line up? Are you an online model? Are you an in-person model? Are you two children? So this is more details. This is a market analysis. So remember how you did market research in the beginning? Here for the elements of the business plan, you will put that in here because it's really important. It shows that, hey, I did my research and I found that, yes, there is a need and my business will cover that need, will fulfill that need. Very important, organization and management. Who's on your team? Are you a one-man band, just you? Or is it you and a friend, right? You and some employees? What are you thinking? Like, who's included in this business venture that you're about to start? Your products and services, marketing. We're going to talk about that. Super important. Marketing. How are you going to promote this item, right? It's so, so important. You can have the best product out there, but if nobody knows your product, or you can offer the best service ever. You are the best teacher on this planet. But if no one knows about it, you're not going to have any business. You're not having any clients, right? There's no point. You're not going to make any money. And definitely a funding request. Hey, I'm going to do this. I need your money. So a funding request. And then your financial projections, right? Like, how much do you think it's going to cost you? 99.9% of the time, you're going to go over your budget. You always think you only need like this much amount, but I promise you, never ever have I been right on budget. I've always been a little bit over, and that's very normal. So it's very safe to think about your finances plus a little bit more. And I'll go into detail on some of these parts. And okay. So part 3. So after you did your market analysis, you're going to need to come up with a business plan. 3, your business location, your business structure, and your business name. These are the 3 things, very key. Very, very key. I just want to say that. So first, we're going to talk about location. Some things to think about when you are choosing a location. Number 1, demographics of the area, right? So are you online? Are you in person? And if you're in person, you kind of need to think about this area. What are the demographics like? When I'm talking about demographics, I'm not talking about just, ethnicity or race. I'm talking about the age. Okay. Is that area full of businesses? What kind of businesses? Is it mostly, financial institutions? Is it a school? Right. So is it more low-key? So you have to think of all these factors, right? Like, how is this area like? The competition in the area. Okay. You want to open a bookstore. Great. Is there already a bookstore in the area? Right? If there's already a bookstore in the area, then maybe, I don't know, it's going to be hard. Accessibility and visibility of the location. I don't know how important to tell you this. Whether you're online or in person, the question is it easy for people to access? Is it easy for people to see? And the cost of rent or lease. Okay. So for example, I told you I have a YouTube channel. I chose YouTube because it was free, right? I don't have to pay YouTube to upload my videos, right? And I still get money from it. So that's part of the reason why I went with opening up a YouTube channel. Okay, so there's all these different things that it's very good to think about when you think about location. When you're thinking, so with location and when some of these other items, I highly recommend you review Amy's webinar on managing finances and resources. I think it'll be a great resource for all of you to review this webinar. And if you're thinking about offering your services, you're like, how should I offer my services? Online, in person? Definitely review Marcel's webinar, Online Models for English Teaching. Okay, so we talked about business location. Now I'd like to talk to you about business structures. Okay, very light, nothing in detail because this is just an overview. So we have something called sole proprietorship. That means you are the only one. You are the only owner. It is great. You don't have to think about anyone else. You call all the shots. The second item would be a partnership. Do you want to do it by yourself? You want to do it with a friend? My 2 cents, usually rule of thumb is that when opening a partnership of sorts, we go with odd numbers. So like 3, 5, because why? Is a tiebreaker. So because usually when you have 2 people, right, it's like 2 people butting heads. But if you have a third person that can they can help with the decision making. So usually rule of thumb will be odd numbers, 3 or 5 or 1. Are you a corporation, right? That means this is a business. Anything happens, it's your business. It doesn't affect your personal ownership items. So like your car, your house, things like that. Limited liability, it's a hybrid structure. Definitely, this is something you need to talk about with your accountant or like an advisor to see which one of these is best for you. But these are the 4 options. Now we move on to a business name. You might think a business name is not that important, but it's really, out of everything that I've had a headache over, it would be a business name. And if you are parents, you understand. Before having your children, you're having your children. What is the biggest thing you think about? A name for your child, right? You're like, oh my gosh, what name am I going to have for my children? Because this is going to affect them for the rest of their lives. Same thing here. All my businesses are my babies. So before opening a business, I really, really think about what name am I going to have them. So here are some tips. And this is from my mistakes, and I will share them with you. Number 1, make it memorable and easy to spell. This is so important, easy to spell. Number 2, make sure that the domain is available. So before thinking of a name for my books, for my restaurants, I have to go on GoDaddy.com. Is it available? Is someone already using it, right? Because so say for example, I had a mistake before. I opened up a name. I was like, I really love this name. And I registered the name with the city. And I went onto the website after the fact and I found, okay, the name has already been taken by someone else, right? It's already been taken by someone else. So unfortunately, I couldn't use that name anymore, right? And connotation. What kind of feelings does your name give you? Is it a good one? Is it a bad one? Or is it neutral, right? These are the kind of things that we have to think about in terms of connotation, okay? I'll give you an example here. So this is my current YouTube channel. I unfortunately have stopped uploading videos here. It's been about 5 years, I think. Okay, so my YouTube channel is ESL Garage. When I first started thinking about opening a YouTube channel, I was like, okay, of course I have to think of a name. And I was like, ESL Garage is the best name ever. I was like, ESL, English as a second language. I'm just going to serve, second language learners. Well, how unfortunate. Here in America, we use ESL, but outside of America, it's not used. ESL is very foreign. They use EFL, right? And now there's like a different acronym that's very popular, which is ELL, English language learners, right? And so I was like, so now I'm thinking, oh my gosh, why did I open ESL? Because it's definitely, ESL is only very America centric, right? It doesn't, outside it's going to be EFL, there's going to be ELL. So I'm like, oh my gosh, right? I should have just used English learners, right? That would have been more inclusive. So that's kind of my first mistake. Then I chose ESL Garage, right? In the beginning, I was like, I'm going to be different. I'm going to use Garage, right? And you're like, why Garage, Teresa? Well, my genius idea at that time was, Garage is a wonderful name because all great things started in a garage. Like Apple started in a garage, HP started in a garage, right? So I'm like, all these big companies started in a garage. So I'm going to apply the same concept, right? I'm going to say, all great things started in a garage. So we're here. This looks like our little garage. We're going to start and then grow. Well, guess what? I had great difficulty, not just me, but with SEO, right? Search engine optimization. When people want to learn English, they're not going to type in ESL or they're not going to type in garage. They're going to type in learn English, right? Easy learning English, right? So if my name would have been, easy English learning, I would have gotten a lot of hits, right? And so these are the things that you have to think about. This is another example I wanted to show you my mistake. So here, one of the restaurant chains I own is Cha2O. In the beginning, I thought this is a wonderful name. It's like a smart idea, okay? Cha means tea in Chinese and, in Chinese, in Vietnamese. I'm like, okay, Cha. And then I was like, okay, my name is H2O, which stands for water. I wanted tea to be like water. So I was like, Cha2O. That was my name, right? I thought this is a wonderful name. Okay. We sell drinks. We sell, slushies and smoothies and milk teas. I'm like, this is perfect. We want to bring tea. We want people to drink tea like water all day, every day. Well, there's a problem with that. This O caused us so much problem. People typed in Cha20. To them, it was a 0. To some people, it was a 0. To some people, it was an O. So what happened was people started posting about us, but a lot of the pictures and things went to a 0, a Cha20 and not Cha20. So this was like a struggle, right? And plus, a lot of people were like, Cha20? Like when we posted our signs, they're like, Cha20. What do they sell? I don't know, because obviously Cha is not English and English is tea. So they're like, what does Cha2O sell? What do they have, right? And so that was a problem for us. And so, thank God we've been in business for over 10 years, So we've been over business 10 years, so the business is doing well. But this is a constant battle we had to do with our marketing. It's like, okay, it's a 0. And it's not a 0, it's an O, right? And we sell smoothies and slushies and tea, right? So it's a lot of education on our part that we have to spend. And so this summer we're opening a chain, another business, and I'll be selling pho. And with my mistake from the past of Cha2O, people were confused. People didn't know if it was a 0 and O. So this time, my name is all about pho. Guess what? I only sell pho. Pho is Vietnamese beef noodles. So I don't know, just in case you know. So there's like an example picture here. So when people look at the name, all about pho, they know, okay, this restaurant only sells pho and nothing else. And so we put here all about pho noodle bar. Simple, clean, straight to the point, So now I would like, if you would like to share, please, in the chat, what are some business names you're exploring, right? If you'd like to share that, I'd be interested. in reading or thinking about some of your names? Ooh, English rules the world. Oh, that's a good one. STEAM English. Oh, okay, STEAMlish, because you're going to focus on STEAM. Yeah, that's very hot right now. Yeah, STEAM, STEM, keywords, definitely. IT. Okay. Ooh, college preparatory and ESL professional tutoring services. Perfect. So you will be preparing students for college and ESL. So clear, right? My only feedback for that, if you're interested in it, it's a bit long. And what I found was I had a problem with, so I had long names before, and what I found was it's hard to fit into marketing pieces. So say if you have a flyer or you have like a website, like it was just really hard to fit all of the letters. And so what I found was I had to shorten it. So yeah, some great ideas. Perfect. So these are really, really great names. So now that you have a business plan going on in your mind and you kind of have this name in mind, let's talk about brand strategy and identity. Like, what is this? What is this? Well, brand strategy and identity is key. Basically, is giving your brand a personality. Is giving your brand a personality. That is it. You have this business plan, great. You have this name, great. Now you need to give it an identity. If this company of yours was a person, what kind of person would it be like? What kind of personality would it have? So brand strategy and identity is important because this is where you differentiate yourself from other businesses. So this personality that you're creating for your business will distinct it from other businesses that perhaps are similar to you. And most importantly, it's what people recognize you as, right? So for example, when I tell people, hi, my name is Teresa, they're like, oh my God, there are 1,000 Teresas in this world. So how do I introduce myself? Just like yesterday, I met some of my colleagues and I said, hi, I'm Teresa, like Mother Teresa, mother of two, right? So there is this identity, or there's something that is identifying you, making you distinct or different from other people. And I'm going to touch upon that because I think it'll be very helpful. So brand strategy. Brand strategy, brand, the reason your business exists beyond making a profit, right? Everybody knows why you're doing business. For money. Sure. Why are you doing business? For money. Yes, that's why. But we don't want people to just see, okay, they're out there to make money. They're out there to make money. Oh, it sounds kind of negative, right? So what do you want to do? You want to give it a person, right? You want to give it a person, you want to give it an identity. How? You have to give it a promise. Okay. Hey, so with your personality, so when you're creating this brand, I promise you, if you use my product, I will give you this. Brand attributes. What are the specific promises? What are the specific characteristics of your brand? And the voice. What kind of voice is it? Is it very professional, firm, fun, easy, relaxing, easygoing, right? Just think of it like exactly like a person. Visuals. And I will give you some examples of this because I made a lot of mistakes on the way within the past 20 years. I made a lot of mistakes, and I am so happy to share you this. Okay. Before thinking about your logo, I want you to think of, and a lot of people don't think about colors, but colors are very important. Google colors and feelings. Certain colors will give people certain feelings. So for example, Starbucks, I want to use Starbucks because Starbucks is a good one. Starbucks is green, very nature. When you think of green, you think of nature, you think of natural, you think of everything that's natural and nature and organic and clean, right? Those are the kind of the words or the feelings that you get with it, right? So that's just a very small example. So I want you to think about, when you think about your brand, your logo, I want you to think of color and font. So here are some tips for developing brand identity, okay? So first is you got to think about your strategy, okay? And the visual, the image. So when we talk about brand identity, we're talking about images. That's what people buy, right? People love pictures. So images. What image do you want to put out there for people? You want to keep it simple and consistent, right? So like I said before, Chatu O was kind of bad because I don't know Chatu O, Chatu Zero, right? So all about fun. That's what I sell. I sell fun. Consider the emotional response you want to elicit from the customer. So like I said, color is very important. Apple, your iPhone, your MacBook, it's just a white apple. It's very clean. Hey, Apple, here, we're very high tech. We're very simple, right? Those are the kind of the feelings that I get. So please learn from my mistakes. This is my first good mistake. I have these books here. So these are two books that these are the two books that I've authored. In the beginning, here, let me annotate for you. These are my books that I first came out with. In the beginning, I came out with 60 positive activities. Okay, here you go. So when I first came out with this book, I was like, you know, these are worksheets. And in my mind, I think, you know, these worksheets are great. You can use it for adults. You can learn it for children. It's anyone can do these worksheets. They would be so helpful. It's creating positive energy. It's applying for everyone. So I thought, you know, I can sell this product to anyone, to everyone, and I'll make a lot of money, right? No, super fail. Because first of all, look at my cover. It's so boring. I just have one emoticon. That's it. Just a happy face. Well, what does that mean? Right? Like, what does this book do? Second, every classroom, the problem I had was they had the book, when they open it, they were confused because it's just like worksheets, like with pictures and things. Are like, well, this looks like it's for children. It doesn't, why would adults want to do these like artistic worksheets, right? And so I was like, interesting. So it seems like people, it didn't have a specific target audience, right? This identity, this happy face, I have no idea what it means. So I'm like, okay, then maybe I should make one for kids, right? Let me modify this and make it for kids. Well, when it was for kids, yeah, people could identify a little bit more. But then the problem was, they're like, okay, are these two books related? How are they different? How are they the same? And so finally, we had to totally delete those two. And we changed it to this. And this is the new, and this is the one that we have now. Okay, so now they know, okay, these worksheets, although very similar in content, topics exactly the same. Worksheets, artwork, just slightly different because they're by two different illustrators. But look, okay, this is for children, this is for adults. It's much cuter, right? So this is one of the lessons that I learned along the way. Okay, let's move on to this. These are other books that I've co-authored. Now, I want to show you this because I think this is very good for my publisher end. This is part of a series. So I did the two books Here we go. So these are the books that I authored. Now, immediately looking from this, you can see that it's from the same series, right? It's from the same series. So it's very helpful to know that, okay, so if you're planning to have not just one book, but multiple books, or you're planning to have one that is related to each other, some things to keep in mind is brand recognition. You want them to know that, hey, all of these products belong together. And how did I achieve this? The same font. I kept the same font, same names, and then just different descriptions under. Now we're moving on to our last piece here, marketing. Oh, my favorite piece. Market your business. So you have a business idea. You wrote it, you made it real. You wrote a plan. Okay? And then, and then you did your market research, you did your plan, and then you thought about your brand identity. And now we're going to talk about marketing. Because like I said before, you can have the best product, you can have the best service, but if no one knows about it, then I'm sorry, you're not going to make any money whatsoever. Oh, sorry. Okay, so here we are, marketing. What are we talking about when we're talking about marketing? Marketing is a process of promoting your business. You got to promote, right? If people don't know about your business, sorry, no money. It's just a fact. So why is marketing important? Awareness. It lets people know about you. It generates leads and ultimately drives sales. Here's an example of what I did. These are some marketing ideas, and good or bad is up to you to think about, but I will tell you here. So if you look at my YouTube channel, when I first started my YouTube channel, I had exactly like 50. I had like 50 subscribers. That's it. Like 50 subscribers. And guess what? They were all my friends. Hey, can you subscribe to my channel? Hey, can you subscribe to my channel? That was it. That's all there was to it. But I'm like, I can't make any money from YouTube. YouTube won't even give you a private like name unless you have over, I believe, 100 subscribers, something like that, or 1,000. I can't remember. Sorry. So I'm like, I need a check from Google. I need a check from them. I can't make money off of 100 friends of mine, right? I need to have like real subscribers who are genuinely interested in my material. I need a market. So what did I do? Newspapers. Overnight. So here in Orange County Register is one of the top newspapers here in Orange County, Southern California. I was in a newspaper. And guess what? I made sure that they talked about my YouTube channel. So yes, it features me. So when you think about it, you have to think about who's the face of your brand, right? You're going to think about who's the face of your brand. And for me, for my YouTube channel, it was me, because I'm the one that's recording my videos and I'm teaching in there. I'm not the one owning the YouTube channel and having other teachers teach. No way. It was me. So if I want to have my product succeed, whether it's my books, whether it's my YouTube channel, guess what? I need to promote myself. So how did I promote myself? People need to know about me. How are people going to know about me? Okay, newspapers. So here, these are two examples of newspapers. So I made sure I was in newspapers. What else did I do? I did interviews. I contacted TV. I contacted radio. I said, hey, look, I have these wonderful products. Interview me, right? And let me tell you a secret. Paying ads is, for me, it didn't work just because, it's just an ad. You cannot give them a lot of information. However, interviews worked beautifully for me because why? Like I said, you have to build a brand identity, right? So through the interview, they know what kind of person I am. And because I'm the face of my products, I am the author, I am the YouTube channel. Through the interview, they understand my personality. They understand my experience. They understand my perspective. They understand my education. They understand me, right? They understand me. So the interview allowed me to do that. And so, yeah. And so that's what I did, right? So here at the top, here. So here, because my product was bilingual, I made sure that I was on Vietnamese TV channels catered here to people in America, to Vietnamese Americans in America, right? Because my book also serves teachers, I did interviews at universities, right? So this was at USC, University of Southern California, one of the top universities here in Southern California. I went to the schools. I said, hey, you guys have a news channel, interview me, right? So you can see here, you have to. And guess what? Did it work? Yes. Overnight, I went from 100 subscribers to 20,000 subscribers. Overnight, right? 20,000 subscribers. That's it. So you can have the best product, but if no one knows about you, I'm sorry, it's not going to work. For more information about marketing and recruitment, I highly recommend that you please review webinar with Anne. She goes into details about marketing. Trust me, it's an important piece. Do it. So with all of that, if you can please put in the chat, I love to hear from you. Can you think of any entrepreneurship marketing strategies, right? Can you think of any marketing strategies that perhaps you can, just think about it. Yes, podcasts are great. I did podcasts, definitely. And let me give you a little secret. This is a great time to reach out to friends you've never reached out to. So I have some teacher friends who already own businesses. So one of my friends, he owns a podcast with, like, he interviews teachers. I said, hey, I'm your friend, interview me, right? Another one of my friends, right? He's a publisher. I'm like, hey, put my books. When you go to those stands and advertise your books, bring my books along, right? So this is a great time to reach out to all your friends. Yes. Write blogs. Yes. And actually, I'll give a little tip about blog writing. So on your website, we have, so please, if you've never heard of SEO, now it's the time to Google SEO. SEO are keywords, keywords when people are Googling. So those are keywords, SEO, just, the letter S, SEO. I'll put this here. If you're doing business, you have to think about SEO. And you can also Google, like, what are some key SEO words for my business, right? And so, for example, if you are doing, so if you're planning to do children's books, maybe they're going to think about bilingual, teenagers, children, like in America, like those are keywords that you're going to think about. So for example, for my restaurant, I make sure when I write blogs that I repeat again and again my location, right? So like Vietnamese food, Orange County, teas, smoothies. So these are some of the keywords that you have to repeat again and again in your blog. Why? So that your blog gets pushed up and people see your website more. So here we are. These are great ideas. So we're coming to a close here. So just a review of everything that we talked about. So number one, conduct your market research. Okay. Conduct your market research. You have to understand your target audience. You have to understand what's going on right now. Like, who are your competitors? Two, write your business plan. It will help you stay focused, because I promise you, you're going to get lost. You're going to get lost. And it's always to have it's always good to have a written item down, just so you can review it. For me, I don't know about you, in the past, I would write in my journals, but I felt that was very unorganized. So what I really love is right now I moved on to a Google Doc. And so it's on my Google Drive, and it's this living document of my business plan. So I can always go back and make edits. Your business location, your structure is super important. Are you online? Are you in person? Are you a product? Are you a service? Right? How is your name? Is it easy to spell? Is it easy to remember? Right? All those different things. Are you by yourself? Are you with a friend? Okay, the next one is developing a brand strategy and identity. If this business was a person, what would this person be like? Okay, so if this business was a person, what would it be like? Okay. So is it young and excited, or is this person kind of like a mature person? And I want to tell you, there is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong with the brand growing, right? You have a strong set of followers and they're going to grow with you. And there's nothing wrong with changing your brand as you grow. So for example, I didn't say this before, but when I had my YouTube channels and some of my books earlier on, my brand was, hey, come study with me. I'm very young and exciting, and it's going to be fun and engaging, right? But now, 20 years later, right? 20 years later, I'm now a mom. I'm a full-time working mom, right? And so my brand is different. I have children books, right? I talk about work-life balance, right? So, definitely there's nothing wrong with your brand growing or changing with time, because we are all like that. Brands change over time. And last but not least, marketing. Please, if you are the best teacher in the world, or you have the best book in the world, or you have the best school in the world, but if no one knows about you, there's pointless. It's really is pointless. And so my recommendation for you, if you are a teacher, you are selling services, please, you need to market yourself. And how do you market yourself, right? Be an author. Maybe you need some books out there. I did a TEDx talk. Yeah, I love doing presentations all the time. But part of the reason why I did a TEDx talk, I put myself on the line, was because I need to build up my resume, right? I'm selling a service. I'm a teacher, right? So I need something credible to support me. Let's say I did a TED talk, right? I put out books. I work for different companies, right? So these are all the things that you have to think about, okay? What is your product? All right, what is your service? How are you going to market these pieces? How are you going to market these pieces? So today it was just me talking to a void with some interaction. So in 2 weeks' time, so please think about everything that I've discussed today. Also, think about some questions you may have for me, or some suggestions, or anything you'd like to talk to me about. And I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. So please sign up for my consultation. I don't know what they call a consultation, but yeah, bring for me. So in 2 weeks' time, you get to talk to me, chat with me, interact with me. I will definitely love to interact with you in 2 weeks' time. That'll be May 24th. Okay. So that's a QR code if you'd like to register to sign up. Thank you, everyone.